Go.
Hi, welcome to Things Fall Apart, the last literature circle. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm Christina, the illustrator.
I'm Casey, the moderator.
I'm David, the summarizer.
And I'm Jay, the quote and vocab finder.
Jeremiah was the multiple perspective, but he will not be attending.
Okay, so would you like to start, Casey?
Okay. The summarizer is supposed to start with just summarizing chapters 14. No, 20 through 25.
Okay, so the summary from 20 to 25. Okonkwo planned to return to his to the village to build his compound, and so when he came, he already had a plan, but he had to build it in New York because somebody already took over that area. The church grown in power inside the area, and the white men subject the villagers to their rule and judgment. Later on, Okonkwo threatened Naomi after he figures out that he had converted to Christian. And the people of the village threatened the church by saying they were going to burn it down, and so they ended up burning the church. And after that, the white men threw them into prison, and they had to pay calories to get them out of prison. So they were released eventually after Izima returned from visiting her future in-laws. And later on in the story, there was a big riot, and the messenger came out to speak, and Okonkwo killed him. So the next day, the commissioner comes to search for him, and then he was found hanging from a tree, committed suicide. And that's really all that happened through 20 to 25.
Okay, Casey.
Alright, I guess I'll start off with a question. So throughout the chapters, Obirika is constantly visiting Okonkwo. How do y'all feel about that?
I feel like it's good that they get to keep their connection with each other. Important things happen in Umfumia, so it's good that Okonkwo can stay up to speed, especially since he wants to be a part of their clan. Jay, do you have anything to say?
I would like to say that Okonkwo and Obirika's relationship is really tight because obviously they're from the same fathering village, or you like to say, and they grew up together, so they have each other's back. So Obirika probably didn't want to lose that relationship with one of his closest friends, so they continue to talk.
David, do you have anything to say?
I felt that their relationship was good until near the end, when the commissioner came into the village, and he was trying to find Okonkwo after he murdered the messenger, and so everybody was lying, saying that they didn't know where he was, but Obirika sold him out, telling him where he was, and they went to go find him, but he was already dead anyway. So I think that they had a good relationship, but if it came down to the wire, then he would have sold him out. So. And Obirika changed a lot over the 7 years, but overall they did have a good relationship.
Casey, would you like to ask another question?
To stretch time, I'm asking you guys, do y'all have any questions when reading chapters 20 through 25 that y'all were unsure about, that maybe one of us can touch upon or like help, or see if we can like help each other figure out what was going on?
You got any questions, Christina? Chapter 20.
Yeah, I'm glad that you asked that. I do have a question. I'd like to know where the white men came from, because sometimes I read too fast and I just don't understand what's going on. So how did the missionaries get there in the first place? Like, where did they come from?
I didn't really catch it either, so.
Okay, so the missionary and the white men, they came from England to come colonize Africa. But at first they were just checking it out, so that's why they said there were only 6 people that came, and they were just visiting the village to see how life was over there. And so that's how they got there. They just came to visit to see how life was in the new area.
Okay.
Thanks, Dave. Okay. Next, I guess we'll go to the quote and vocab finder.
Okay, so
So you can save some vocab in
okay,
the.
I'm gonna start with vocab. Well, I just did vocab words. There's obviously English words that I never seen before. So I did. I don't know how to pronounce this. Tumulu. Well, it starts with a T, and it was in
Spell it.
Tumult.
Okay.
That word was unfamiliar to me, and it means noisy excitement. Very, what is that? I did not understand these words.
What? Oh,
Spell it.
Bereaved, Bereaved. And that means deprived or left to desolate, which usually happens when people are dead. And the last word was imminent. And this word was unfamiliar because it means that something is about to happen. So those are 3 vocab words that were just in the book. I didn't choose any African words because I felt like if I didn't understand the English words, what was the point?
Okay, I have a question about those words. So after you look them up, do you know how they're related to each other?
Yeah, once I looked it up and I went back to where it was in the chapters 20 to 25, the sentences made more sense and the text actually made more sense. So, yeah. Any more questions about vocab?
What chapters did you get these vocabulary words from?
I got them from... Okay, well, Tumulu came from chapter 21. Bereaved came from chapter 25. And the last word came from chapter 23. But, yeah, so they helped me. The text makes more sense now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you want me to do the quotes now, or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So one of the quotes where he had already chosen the title of the book after much thought, the pacification of primitive tribe of Lower Niger. This quote is saying that the commissioner is going to write a story about the people. Everyone knows the real story because we read it from Okonkwo's point of view, and when he writes, it will be through his biased eye. So this quote was really saying that the commissioner is going to start writing his own story about the village, and it's obviously going to be through a white man's eyes. So it's going to be like the African people were like gruesome, unclean people, but in reality they had their own government, they had their own system, and the white people came and corrupted it. So anybody got questions on that?
No, but I can branch off into another question.
Okay.
So this is dealing with.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Okay. This is dealing with Obirka once again, but with the white man's story.
Mm-hmm.
So, Obirka's reaction to the story, to the white man's story, was he was afraid about white men because they had powerful guns who took men away as slaves.
Mm-hmm.
So, I want to know your opinion on his reaction to the white man's stories. Like, would you guys be afraid too? And do you feel like Obirka was all taught because they were all, you know how people of Umofian, the men of the Umofian village, the men of the Umofian village were supposed to be all manly and not afraid of anything. You know how Kwanko's not afraid of anything, so Obirka is supposed to be not afraid of anything. Do you think that? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like, do you feel like
He should be worried about what they said.
do you think he's a hypocrite? I feel like Obirka's a hypocrite? Because in the old village, if you were afraid of anything, you're not a man. You were like
I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
You got something to say, David?
Yeah, so I agree that he is a hypocrite because like Casey said, that the men were supposed to be big and bold. They weren't supposed to be scared. They were supposed to be the people that were supposed to defend and just not to be scared or anything. And now people coming in with more power than you that you never heard of before, like guns, they never seen a gun before. and now somebody's coming in with guns, and now they're scared, and they don't know what to do, and so now they judged all these other men on how they were scared, and now they see what it feels like to be scared of something.
Jade, got something to say?
Well, I was thinking, since the men, like what Casey said, like the men, they're supposed to be manly, and Okonkwo is supposed to be like super manly. And Obirika is Okonkwo's best friend, so he is kind of being a hypocrite because I know he has that type of belief, but their beliefs are probably getting mixed up at this point of the story, so it's kind of different. So that's all I got to say.
How much time?
Okay, it's on.
All right, so next we'll just have the illustration, and Christina will have like 5 minutes to talk about the features of her illustration, then explain what it means and why she chose that illustration. Then after that, we'll just have questions, and then we'll end the video. Okay, Christina?
My picture was of Okonkwo in the final scene of the book. You can pass it to me so I can show them the picture. This is Okonkwo hanging from the tree when the missionary guy found him, and I feel like this was very important to the story because Okonkwo was the main character, and to have him kill his own self was an act of maturity and manliness. I say this because I'm about to explain like why I drew the picture. In this picture, it was Okonkwo when he killed himself. In chapters 25, Okonkwo kills himself because he loses his place as a man in his culture, a place that is now fulfilled by Christians and the church values. From the beginning of the story, he was always worried about his manhood and having a father who was womanly and didn't have a title. He commits murder out of frustration and defending his manhood. The act of a coward, so Christianity has stolen his manhood from him. He strives so hard to establish it throughout his life, but he didn't complete it because it was too late by the time he had come back from his 7-year exile. I have a question. I want to know why you think Okonkwo couldn't fulfill the duties that he had set in place for himself as a man. Like, why do you think he wasn't able to stay alive?
Because during his time as a village, he was too busy trying to become a better man than his dad was and not being labeled or related to his dad. He didn't want to be compared to his dad, so he was not focusing on being alive, but more on being better than his dad and not being like his dad at all.
Yeah. David or Jay, y'all got something to say?
Yeah, same thing Casey was saying, how he was too busy being a man. He lost sight of what a real man is because he's so focused on being different from his father. And his father did have mean qualities, and so he excluded those qualities of his father. Therefore, he never became a true man. He just became what he wanted to be, how he viewed a man was.
Okay. And out of all the reasons to kill himself, why do you think he didn't allow somebody to do it to him? Like, why did he have to make that move?
Because I believe that he decided to kill himself because he didn't want nobody else to kill him. Because I think before he died, he still thought of himself as a highly person. And so he didn't want somebody to kill him because I think he thought himself that he was a coward, that he couldn't just end his life himself.
To piggyback off that, going back to I think the first literature circle, he didn't want to show his weakness. He didn't want anybody to know that he was weak and he needed someone else to kill himself.
Jay, do you have anything to say?
Okay. Well, not really. I don't want to be redundant with it, but I am. And they were. Okonkwo was just he killed himself for many different reasons. It's just he didn't. He thought he was manly enough, but he really wasn't. To be honest, because at the end he couldn't handle all the change and all the stress. He couldn't handle it, and it really overpowered him and ended up killing him inside, and he couldn't take it, so he most likely killed himself. Well, he didn't. He killed himself. So yeah, that's it.
Go.
And that brings me to my next quote. And Mafumia man does not refuse a call, he said. He may refuse to do what he has to be. What he is asked, he does not refuse to be asked. This quote is about Okonkwo staying true to Mafumia man's pride. Mafumia man honors and respects other men, and that's what he's doing. Okonkwo, he stayed true to his original village pride and belief throughout the whole entire story until the very end when he killed himself, which is probably it's pretty good because he really tried. He really tried to stay true, but of course with everyone around you is changing and becoming different, it's gonna be hard for you to stay that way. But Okonkwo really did stay true to his pride, and he tried to accomplish many things in the way that Mafumia men would actually do it instead of the way that Christian men would do it. And that can go to Casey, next question, as the moderator.
All right. So let's talk about.
You put it in the trash.
Let's talk about some changes that Okonkwo went through after his exile, moving to the motherland and adjusting to new people and not being around his friends of his fatherland and things and that such.
Go.
One of the changes were the missionaries when they actually first came in and through chapters 14 through 19. The missionaries were the first change Okonkwo had the experience or what he heard from ear until he actually went back to his original village and saw the missionaries. And this is one of the really big changes for him. Another change was when his son, Noah, actually converted, and that was a very big change. Plus, he actually felt betrayed and felt like that wasn't his son anymore, and that really broke his heart. David, do you have any more changes?
Not really. But anything that I realized was how Uncle he was. Okonkwo, he was more of always somebody that didn't show emotion, but near the end of the book, he started actually showing some real emotion. Like, he got happy at one point in the story after they threatened the church and stuff, but he ended up getting mad again because none of the people wanted to follow through at first. So I saw Okonkwo change a little bit. He showed emotion, unlike he did in the other story, because he showed thought. The emotion was that's one change I noticed throughout.
Casey, your changes that you noticed?
One change is one of the main characters in Esme got married. And yeah.
I have a change that I've noticed. Since the beginning of the story, Okonkwo wasn't too fond about his oldest son. So I feel like throughout the story, he liked him a little less and less because the hope for him to actually try to change him was just too much for him to handle. And you really notice that you can't really do something until it's close to the end when it's supposed to be done right now, already. I think that this was the biggest change throughout the story because manlyhood is the biggest thing that kind of stood out to me while reading. Also, with Nowoye and Okonkwo, I feel like not that he's the only reason, but he is part of the reason why his father killed himself. Not that he couldn't fulfill that duty. He couldn't fulfill that duty of actually trying to make his son into what his father wasn't. And I think that if we were to read the second book, it'll be kind of about Nowoye and how he displeased his father I don't even think they had any other words to say to each other. But if they did have something to say to each other, I think it would be like, I'm sorry, Father, that I couldn't please you better than what I already did. That's what I saw the change was throughout the story.
All right, thank you, Christina. That is the ending of our literature circle. Things fall apart.
We are the dream team, and we're out.
Guys, I didn't finish. I only got to like chapter